Here's Dana.
Hi there.
Hi, Dana.
Dana.
Do we get to see your smiling face?
Oh, I wonder. Start video.
There
we
she
go.
is.
There you go.
All right, we are now live now on HCTV, just so everyone knows.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Hastings High School Alumni Association annual meeting that we have going on. We want to thank everyone who's watching via Facebook, YouTube, or part of the Zoom meeting. My name is Mike Slavic, class of 1997, and I am co-president of the Hastings, Minnesota High School Alumni Association. And part of what we're going to be going through here as these uncertain times with the pandemic, we are doing our annual Alumni Association meeting via electronic means for the safety and health of all. So with that, one of the things that makes us the oldest active high school alumni association in the country is the fact that this is the 136th annual alumni board meeting that we have had consecutive. We didn't stop during either of the world wars. We didn't stop during the Spanish flu, and we're not stopping with COVID-19. So we welcome all of you here, and with that officially, I will call to order the 2020 Hastings High School Alumni Association board meeting. And with that, I'll pass it on to our co-president, Dave Youngren, who will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Dave. And with that, I'd like to start by introducing some of our members of the Hastings High School Alumni Board who are on the Zoom call today. We'll start, as I said, with co-president of the Alumni Association, Dave Youngren, our treasurer of the Alumni Association, Val Youngren, Mo Crisp Kranz, who is the vice president of the Alumni Association, I believe. And then we have Dana Pettit, who is the secretary for the Alumni Association. Additionally, we have a couple other board members. We have Andy McCoy, Don Pettit-Wignes, and Denise Dodge Atkinson, who are also members of the board. So these are your members representing you on the Alumni Association. And thank you again for another year of service with that. With the next thing that we'd like to do is with this, as we have not been able to meet in person for the banquet this year, the recommendation of the board of directors is to continue the officers for 2020/2021. And then next year, when we get the opportunity to meet in person, we would like to go then and have new officers at that point. So without any objection, that would be the recommendation of the board. And with that, we will move on to.
You want to do it?
Thank you. So with that, we will move on to the secretary's minutes from the 2019 Alumni Association. We'll call Dana Pettit to read those minutes for everyone.
Dana, you're muted.
The meeting was called to order. Should I read the minutes? Or not.
Yeah, please read them if you can, Dana.
Oh, okay. The meeting was called to order by President Denise Dodge Atkinson, 69, at 6:50 after dinner and dessert was served. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited. The minutes of our 2018 annual meeting were presented. A motion to approve was made by Richard Welshons and seconded by Keith Slavic. The motion was passed by attendees. The treasurer's report was presented by Val Youngren. A motion to approve was made by Dave Pemble and seconded by Linda Holzmer. The motion was passed by attendees. Honor classes, along with those year's highlights, were recognized. This included class of 44, 49, 69, 74, and class of 79. Oh boy, I can't read beyond that. Okay. Oh, there we go. I'm getting it now. Oh boy, went too far. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up here. Okay, President Denise Atkinson spoke about the HHS Alumni Association being the oldest active alumni in the nation. Our goal is to continue to give scholarships to future graduates, as well as giving funds to help some students afford yearbooks. Denise also announced it was her last year as president. She stated she was happy to fulfill this position and how keeping our alumni alive is significant. It is, in fact, preserving our history of not only our school, but Hastings as well. Our notes from the meetings go to the Pioneer Room at City Hall, where our children and grandchildren can read and learn about this. Our annual alumni meeting and dinner is a celebration, a reminder of the goals we are trying to attain. The trivia game was started by Dave Youngren. Mike Slavic presented our school scholarship recipients. One was given to Nicholas Radkin in honor of Paul Hicks, given by Lori Brox. Another scholarship was given to Trevor Zion by the Zuzek family in honor of Elaine Zuzek. Sherry Fox and Jen Fox talked about the scholarship and what education and alumni meant to Elaine. Mike Slavic presented our Alumni of the Year Award to the Welshons family. This included Paul Welshons, class of 44, who was not able to attend, Richard Welshons, class of 82, and Dave Welshons, class of 85. The Welshons have volunteered at numerous organizations such as United Way, Hastings Family Service, Hastings Public School Foundation, among others. Andy McCoy, class of 82, presented the 2019 resolutions to the group. The list was accepted and lights were dimmed and a moment of silence was acknowledged. David Youngren, class of 76, continued the trivia game and prizes were presented to the winners. Heidi Lund and Louis Youngren led us in God Bless America and our HHS fight song. A motion was made for closing of the meeting by Lisa Youngren and seconded by Rob Hallberg. The motion was passed by attendees. The group adjourned at 8:15.
Thank you. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections to those minutes, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the 2019 Alumni Association meeting.
So move.
It's been moved by Dave Pemble. Is there a second?
Yes, I second.
Seconded by David Youngren. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you very much. The minutes have been approved. And with that, we'll move on to our treasurer's report. Valerie Dodge Youngren.
You should have those, should be coming up on the screen, I hope.
Yep. There we go.
And I'm not going to go through every single thing. I think if everybody just goes down the report, take maybe a minute or so. And if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer any of those that you have. Basically, our total current assets are $26,980.99. Then the separate breakdown for the savings account, $4,181.79. Checking account gives you the income and expenses for the year from October 1st of 2019 through September 30th of 2020. Up to that point, we did have a loss of $207.98. But with donations continually coming in, that'll put us in the plus. So anybody have any questions?
Are there any questions for Treasurer?
Yeah, I just have one. Does this reflect the donation drive we just are in the middle of in any way?
Through September 30th, yes.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
Through September 30th is on here.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the treasurer? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve the Treasury's report through September 30th, 2020.
So moved.
So moved by Keith Slavic. Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was a second by Dave Pemble?
Yep.
Second by Dave Pemble. Any further discussion on the Treasury's report? If not, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
It has been approved. Thank you. With that, I just want to give a little bit of a brief President's report for the year that we've had. It certainly, like everything else we've been dealing with, has been a challenging year, and the Alumni Association is no different. One thing of note is in the beginning of the year when we met before COVID, we had a lot of discussions on what we wanted the 2020 alumni banquet and annual meeting to look like. And it was a very exciting time. One of the things of note was we were growing out of the space that we were in for the banquet. As the last couple of years, we were holding the alumni banquet and board meeting at the Onion Grill, and the space was getting too small for the number of people who were wanting to attend. So we had looked at a couple different venues, and we're planning a venue change prior to the pandemic. So that is a lot of where we put a lot of our energy pre COVID-19. After that point, things certainly had changed for all of us, and we wanted to make sure that the health and safety of our alumni was the #1 priority. And we were trying as long as we could to see if we would be able to do an in-person event, and just could not feel that it made sense. But there were a number of actions that the alumni board did do on behalf of all of you. One of those things, for the last couple of years, we've been collecting donations to help with offsetting the cost of yearbooks for individuals. In fact, we made an article in the yearbook as well as the local news or the student newspaper about what the Alumni Association has been able to do, because quite frankly, the cost of many things have gone up, and including in that are our yearbooks. So we were able to donate $680 to offset the cost of yearbooks for seniors who, without the help of the Alumni Association, would not have had yearbooks. And we want to thank all of the generous donations that we've had last year and this year, and they're still coming in to support this effort, which we're only a couple of years into, but it's been something new that the Alumni Association has really put into it's one of its priorities. The second thing that happened is through a partnership of local businesses, including Emily's Bakery, they made the commitment to give every single graduating senior from Hastings High School a cake. And the Alumni Association went and donated $320 to help with that cost, to be able to ensure that every single graduate was able to receive a specialized congratulations graduate cake from Emily's Bakery. So we were honored and very willing to help out in that partnership for 2020, because as we know, the class of 2020 did not have the same experiences as many of our other alumni and other graduates have had. The last thing that we've done, and it's something we've been doing for years, for almost 50 years now, the Hastings High School Alumni Association has given out a scholarship to a graduate of Hastings High School whose parents or grandparents were alumni of the high school. And this past year in 2020, we gave that scholarship to Julie Lambert, who is on her way to study law enforcement. It's actually our second year in a row of a Hastings High School graduate looking to study law enforcement. I want to thank Rob Hallberg and I, who helped with the selection process this year, but we were able to do one $1,500 scholarship to help with the cost of studies with that. So those have been some of the things that we were able to do, some planned and some also not exactly what we thought we would be doing in 2020. And with that, I just want to take a couple minutes to thank the board members and co-president Dave Youngren for the year that we've had, because it was not like what we've experienced in the past. And the group of board members we talked about previously have done an amazing job really helping keeping this organization alive, which, as we've said, for well over 130 years, the High School Alumni Association has done some pretty amazing things. And with that, I want to put out there once again that we are certainly looking for new board members. Some of us have been on for 10 plus years, and I think this year is Rob Hallberg's first year on, and we honestly couldn't do what we've been able to do this year without Rob, because he's been kind of our Zoom master. So thank you for all of what you've done, in addition to all of the other board members who've been around a few years, because it's this team of individuals, we've been able to stabilize the budget and also be able to add new priorities. So compared to where things were about 5-10 years ago, we were kind of bleeding money, and we've been able to stabilize that. And with that, we can always use more, because this organization can only give scholarships out if there's money available. So thank you to those who've given so far and who will give in the future, because it's greatly appreciated. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is typically one of the things that we do at an alumni banquet is our alumnus of the year, or alumni of the year. We have had in there up to this point, both Mayor Fassbender and Mayor Hicks have been recipients. Jim Collins, founder of HYAA, has been a member. Shane Hudella, founder of United Heroes League. We had the Welshons family of DCA title were last year's recipients. We've had this is would be our 5th year of recipients, and it just didn't quite feel right in this structure to do that, to give it to one set alumni. So at the recommendation of the alumni board, we are honoring the alumni of the year for the class of 2020. So all seniors, we congratulate you. We know that you're entering into the world in a very different place than any of anybody around today could say. So with that, we want to send our heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2020 and acknowledge you for what you've been through. And we know that there's still better to come up about in the years to come. So we wish you well, and that is where we're at with that. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to, I think, Denise, you're next, right?
Okay.
I believe you're next. My screen's up, so I'll let you go on next. So, Denise is going to talk about one of our other special alumni that we want to acknowledge with that. So Denise, I'll pass to you.
Over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, we've lost a significant number of alumni members from the board and from our membership, and it has been a tradition that we would continue to at least pay tribute to them. And this year is unfortunately no exception. We lost our good friend Jane Lightbourne, and so we'd like to pay tribute to her. This is Jane's high school graduation picture. Okay. So just for a moment, if you'll just allow me, here we go. When the Hastings High School Alumni Association recognizes alums who have distinguished themselves in our schools and community, one who was indeed all of these things has passed on in 2020, and we would be remiss in not recognizing our good friend Jane Lightbourne. A lifelong resident of Hastings, Jane graduated from Hastings High School in 1965 and earned her college degree at UW River Falls. The part of Jane's life to note is her 46-year career at the Hastings Star-Gazette, as most recognized Jane's work when they read the weekly newspaper over the years. Jane was also active in the Rivertown Lions and the Hastings Family Service. She also loved the Minnesota Twins. The Alumni Association will miss Jane Lightbourne. She was a great friend to former board member Elaine Zuzik and attended many meetings with Elaine and offered her expertise and ideas throughout the years. When we needed local insights and advice, Jane's background and willingness to share and help was truly welcomed. We will miss her keen sense of humor, her collegiality, and her willing spirit. Most of all, we will miss her smile and the twinkle in her eyes when she giggled. With us was often. Godspeed, Jane. We will miss you. The Hastings High School Alumni Association.
Thank you very much, Denise, for those comments, and I think that you said it very well. I think we will all especially miss her laugh. So thank you again for that remembrance on that. And one of the things that we do as an alumni association when we gather every year for the alumni banquet and board meeting is we acknowledge those who have our alumni who've passed within the last year. And I want to thank Andrew McCoy's been the kind of keeper of the names. And with that, we're going to go and pass it on to him, and he's going to acknowledge the resolutions of those who've passed in the last year.
Okay, thank you everyone for the work that you've done this year. It's just definitely been an interesting year. I always want to tell people we do the best we can to try to get a complete list, but it is very hard with people moving around and everything. So my information is available, and so if you do hear of someone in your class that passes away, please contact us so that we can try to get the most complete list that we can. So I will apologize ahead of time for any mispronunciations. I try my best to get them as clear as I can. The 2020 Hastings High School Alumni Resolution Report. Whereas since our last reunion has pleased Almighty God to call from our midst 60 of our fellow alumni, to wit: the class of 1941, Margaret Mary Fassbender Gerlach. Class of 1942, Harold Mueller. Class of 1944, Shirley Otto Roddy, Paul Welshans. The class of 1945, Elizabeth Betty Marshall Tingquist. The class of 1946, Leona Pekachik Chilson, Lorraine Schomer Husting. The class of 1947, Vernon Johnson, Thomas Nesbitt Sr., Dick Oliver. The class of 1948, Donald Schlussler. The class of 1951, Eleanor Gergen Charlton. The class of 1952, Elizabeth Betty Fryermuth Collins, John Kranz, Ralph Wenner. Class of 1953, Lois Pat Karnick Wagner. Class of 1954, John Bauer. The class of 1956, Donnie Den. William Bill Paulson. Class of 1957, Frank Spitty Frost. The class of 1958, Keith McCullum. Kathleen Niederkorn Pohl. The class of 1960, Bonnie Harrington Den. Thomas Swanson. The class of 1961, Janet Fox Reller Fredling. Class of 1962, Carol Mahar Saris. The class of 1963, Michael Frost. David L. Hicks. Clem Myers. David Swanson. The class of 1965, Kathy Haas Mask. Jane Lightbourne. The class of 1966, David Carroll Stanley Langenfeld. Class of 1967, Donna Frandrup Wagner. Class of 1968, Pete Malik. Class of 1969, Dennis Maines, Warren Wagner. The class of 1970, Delmar Del Olson. Stephen Suds Swanson. The class of 1971, Keith Lavala. Warren Schaefer. The class of 1973, Stephen Gartsky. The class of 1975, Patrick Riley. The class of 1976, Thomas Chuggy Klein. Kim Mullenbach Truax. The class of 1977, Michael Mike Klemick. Class of 1978, Mark Murphy. The class of 1979, Jacqueline Jackie Heesh Wilkins. Joe Jansen. Class of 1982, Joanna Greer Perry. Class of 1984, Mary Sue Engstrom. The class of 1986, Charles J. Schaefer. The class of 1990, Sean Farrell. The class of 2003, Adam Isaacson. The class of 2005, Barbara Barb Johnson. The class of 2006, Robert J. McNamara. Josh Miller. The class of 2015, Alyssa Allie Ruth Porter. The class of 2019, Devin Norring. Therefore, be it resolved that this Alumni Association feels most deeply the loss of these beloved members and wishes to express our sincere sympathy to their family and friends. Be it further resolved that a copy of these resolutions be entered into the minutes of this association and a copy be published in the local newspaper. Respectfully submitted, Andrew R. McCoy, class of 1982.
Thank you, Andy. And before we take action on that motion, I just request everyone that we could take a brief moment of silence to remember all of our alumni who've passed. Thank you. And Andy, I believe you've moved that motion. Can we take a second on that motion?
I second it.
It has been seconded by Val Youngren. Seeing no further discussion on that item, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That has been moved, and once again, we will go and put a copy in the Hastings newspaper with that. One of our last traditions that we do before we adjourn this meeting is we always end our meeting with the Hastings High School fight song. So I think we'll start by, we'll pass it on to, I think, Rob, you're going to take care of that. So we'll let you turn on the fight song for us. All right. Well, thank you. It works much better when we're in person, and we really hope that next year we'll be able to see all of you in person. So, before we move to adjourn, I just want to thank everyone who's been able to be part of this, either through Facebook, through YouTube, or on the Zoom call today. Thank you to the members of the board who have kept this organization alive and going both this year and many years past. And we just want to, on behalf of the Alumni Board, we want to wish everybody a safe and healthy year. And we look forward to seeing you in 2021. And with that, if there's no objection, I will go and call this meeting adjourned, and we will see you next fall. We are adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Good
Take
job.
care.
Bye.